Hello, this is the Uncultured Podcast, and this is your host, Danlock the Great. And with me are my co-hosts,
Lucille Brown.
And Ruth.
And Galerius.
If you think that Channing Tatum was good looking, you are cultured.
And today we're going to be talking about Fallout, and we're going to do a recap sort of news segment as well. So let's do Fallout first, because you guys are a little bit more prepared for that. First of all, I'm going to do a recap of the show just for a little bit. So the show starts off with a cowboy doing some stuff at a house, and he basically is taking pictures with them and stuff, and then they see some bombs go off, and basically the entire world is blowing up and all of America is under a nuclear apocalypse. So everybody hides in some bunkers, and it skips to 200 years later, and you get Lucy, who is our main character, Lucy McLean, I think. And Lucy it's her wedding day, and she's going to get married to somebody she doesn't know from another vault across from them. And the other vault comes over, happens to be a hot guy, so she's pretty happy about the whole arrangement. And so she's, yeah, this'll be great for me. But then it turns out that the hot guy is secretly evil and there to kill everyone because they're part of the Raider group, which goes down into vaults and kills everyone. The Raider group just goes and tries to kill everyone, but they just capture her dad, because I guess that was their point, and they don't kill everyone. And they leave. And her and a couple other people all survive, and so she goes out to look for her dad and leaves everybody else behind. And she finds some random guy named Maximus who says that he's a knight, but we learn in a backstory that he is not really a knight. He was the squire who then made a cowardly move and shot the knight in the face and took over his armor. So he's actually just the squire who's an idiot. And they travel for a bit, and they meet up with a undead ghoul who then captures her because she was trying to grab a head out of a sea monster. And Maximus had already left by this point, doing who knows what. And then they all meet up later, and she grabs the head again that she was trying to grab to save her father. And she gets back to where her father was captured with the head. And she's, I'll give you the head for my father. And the lady's like, okay, but your father's evil. And she's like, oh, he isn't. And she's like, then why is your dead mother over there who's like a ghoul? And she's like, that ain't my mom. That's just a ghoul. And then they're like, look, there's a necklace on her, so it's gotta be your mom. And she's like, that ain't my mom. And she shoots her in the face. And then the movie ends. Maximus then claims that he shot the evil lady and becomes the leader of the Brotherhood. Lucy takes off with the ghoul to go beat up her father.
Can I say something right here? Because that was not my opinion of what happened in that story.
No, that was the objective summary.
You were like wrong. That was definitely your mother. And she didn't say, no, it's not my mother. She shot the ghoul who was her mother to kill her, to be out of pain. It was definitely your mother.
Is that why she shot her? I just thought she shot her because why not?
So I'm not sure what she was planning on doing with the ghoul. She actually didn't say why she was running around with the ghoul. Actually, she needs to go back to her home.
Yeah, because her brother is awake and alive now, and he's just stuck in a cryo chamber.
But if she found out that everything was a lie, shouldn't she go back home to make sure everything's fine with her family? Her, like, brother and, like, everyone at home? Like, why does she think that everything's gonna be fine at home? She's trouncing around doing nothing up there.
Who knows? Okay, have any of you guys played the video games?
Me.
We have the one video game rep. What do you think of the games?
They're pretty good. I feel like the fantasy of the game is so good that like it overcomes any of the inadequacies. And there's so much content that you don't really notice the problems you might have with it until 50 hours have passed. Really fantastic game. Criticizing it is a moot point because it's just fantastic of a game.
Okay.
There's so many fun things that they introduce, and there's funny things that happen, and the game's really interesting. And there's It's really nice that you can look somewhere and go somewhere. It does have boundaries, so there's certain areas you just can't go over there, and you're like, oh man, but there's like a building over there. It's mostly open world. It's a
Okay.
large world.
Okay, and how many of the games have you played?
I haven't played the first 2 games, although I've seen stuff about them. I think
Okay.
most people have played the first 2 games, or Fallout Tactics. But I played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and I did play a little bit of the Fallout 76. It was in its early days, so it was really buggy. I heard it's doing pretty well now. That was one of those games I was like, definitely the fantasy was there before it was polished out. And there was a lot of hate on it, which wasn't undeserved hate, but was maybe a little bit intense just because of how popular the IP was.
I gotcha. Okay, so it's a pretty fun fantasy game. I know basically nothing about the video game, except that I think I saw like a clip one time of a guy shooting something. I thought the clip was cool.
You want me to try to run you through what I remember of the story of Fallout 3?
Sure. Is that similar to this?
Actually, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I feel like Fallout 3, they nailed just the story of your introduction to the world of Fallout. Oh yeah, I've also played Fallout New Vegas, but there's a couple games, it might just be Fallout New Vegas, where you're just already in the warehouse, what's it called, the wastelands.
Yeah.
But most of them, you are a vault dweller, and then something in the vault, and you don't quite realize it. I guess it's a little bit of a. I don't know how much they touched up on in the TV show, but I don't think they were super subtle about it. But the vaults are all experiments. All of them are. Almost all of them go wrong because they're like not quite evil scientist levels of evil experiments, but they might as well be because they're like, in this one, we decided that there would be a limited amount of water, so they would run out.
They did touch on it a bit at the end because they touched on the boardroom where all the people at the boardroom, they were like, we can make all the vaults whatever we want. And all the people at the boardroom are like, oh, I have some sweet ideas. And they're all these terrible psychopath ideas. So they did touch on it. And that was probably one of my favorite moments of the show. Those psychopath ideas, to be honest.
Yeah, because basically there was very few vaults that were mostly unmessed with. And even the vaults that weren't too much messed with, they were like, hey, let's just see how people do in isolation. And you're like, that's what they were already going to do. They still often get messed up just because it was hard to live underwater.
Yeah, it is.
All the vaults are definitely revered places. They're like, oh, wow, this could be a really good haven. But unfortunately...
Okay. That sounds pretty fun, honestly. That's pretty much what I expected.
All right. Let me cover the story real quick. Basically, you're being read scripture from the Bible. Something about the Alpha and the Omega. I can't remember it. Really a powerful line, though. I'm sure you remember it. Yeah, you get read some pretty nice scripture, and also something about water. I can't quite remember it. But then you are born into the world, like some blood splatters on your face like that, and you have been born from your mom, and your mom's, hey, awesome. And you can customize your character right there. There's like a little screen that's probably like, this is what your kid will look like in the future. So that was pretty cool. And remember, the voice actor for your dad is none other than Liam Neeson. So it is a pretty cool dad voice that is going on over there. Obviously, complications happen, and your mom's, uh-oh, I'm doing the die, and she dies. And then it says, like, 8 years later, and you wake up and you have a birthday party that goes tries to steal your sweet roll, and you notice your dad's got some interesting dealings with the people there, and then a number of years go by again, and your dad is, okay, you need to go take the GOAT exam, which is the best exam ever, because all of the questions are just insane. They're like, an old lady has stolen a nickel from the wishing well. What do you do? And the options are like, turn her into the police, shoot her with your own gun. And 2 of them are like, be slightly nice. And so all those questions are really great. Anyways, you do all that, and then you go to sleep, wake up the next day, and people are freaking out because your dad has left the vault. They go, nobody ever leaves the vault. That's insane. The people are going crazy. The security are beating people up who are trying to escape too. And you go out and escape into the wastelands. You go do random stuff in the wasteland because it's just a video game. And eventually you come across your dad again. I can't quite remember if he was captured or not, but basically it turns out your dad had plans to make purified water in the wastelands because none of the water in the world is purified. Like very little purified water. Most of it is dirty, irradiated water, and so he is trying to create pure water.
Oh, that's a pretty good goal, honestly.
Yeah, and you end up going to try and help him, and your dad ends up going and dying basically to turn on the power plant, and it basically irradiates him and kills him. And in the DLC, you can actually no, in both of them you can do that. In the DLC, your dad dies for you, which you can choose for him to die anyways, or you can choose to die yourself and save your dad, which case the game ends, which is honestly a pretty good game end, honestly.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. So obviously this would be talking about like the background and stuff, like the setting of this world, because I think that is the strongest part of this show, obviously, because it is based off of that video game pretty well. But what did you guys feel about like the world? Did you feel like it drew you in?
For sure, for me.
It was a dry and desert wasteland, and no one was happy. I did not want to live there.
Yeah, I didn't want to live there either.
I didn't want to live there, but that doesn't mean you weren't drawn into the world. You were drawn into Dune when you watched that, and I don't want to live in Dune.
Listen, Danlock, yeah, he is the Messiah of Dune, and it's amazing and spectacular.
Listen.
Oh, I don't know. I think I liked Dune's world better than this world.
Sure did.
Okay. I'm not saying that you liked one world over another. I'm just saying you were giving responses that acted like you didn't like this world because it was a bad desert. But that's not a reason not to be drawn into a world, is what I was saying.
Let me say something. In Fallout 3, I think one of the biggest moments that I think I'll remember forever was when you leave the vault, there's this section of the little giant cog moves out of the way.
Yeah.
And you walk out and the cog slams back shut as the security's chasing after you. And you're like, okay, so my dad is gone. I am alone. And then there's just this really long carved out like hole that seems really janky. And there's like a skeleton or two on the ground. And you're like, this is weird. And you go out and there's just this wooden crummy thatched like boards and then a really crummy wooden door. And you open the door and it says, are you sure? Are you ready to progress on? And you open it and the whole screen goes white and stays that way for 7 seconds like that and slowly adjusts as you look out on the wasteland from like an up high cliff. And it was a really cool feeling, a really cool image of just like, all right, let's do something cool here. I felt like the TV show really captured that, you know?
I think it does when Lucy leaves the vault.
Yeah, obviously there's very large stretches of desert that I feel like pulled away a bit from the wasteland, but it wasn't exactly terrible, and those were just scenic shots. Because then they would have things like she's coming across a guy who's growing the world's worst food, and she's got a gun pointed at him, and he's just like, don't kill me. She's like, no, I want directions. And he's like, oh. She's like, oh, do you need some water? Here you go. And then he just drinks all the water. She's like, that was a terrible interaction. That was fantastic.
I love that guy. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, this is comedy gold.
Yeah, wasn't he wearing wrapped loins?
Yeah.
He's like not even wearing underwear. It was like biblical wraps, and you're like, are you okay, my man? You are bare-legged it out here in the irradiated desert, and he's, I gotta grow these horrible tomatoes. I think they're called potatoes, and it's, wow, that name's even horrible.
Yeah. I really love the scenery. I could tell in the vaults, they look so cool, and I love the clothing. The clothing is so cool. I love the vault clothing so much. It looks so good. I just love like the whole look of it.
Oh yeah.
Even though I hate Maximus just as much as everybody else, Maximus's armor does look cool. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel's armor does look awesome. I love their armor, even if Maximus is pretty bad.
It wasn't Maximus' armor, he stole it. But...
That's right. It was Titus's armor. That's right.
Another trash man. What was wrong with that guy?
That man wanted to die because he was just giving the main Maximus just reasons to kill him. And I was like, what is going on there?
Yeah, he was like, kill me.
Please kill me. And I was like, what?
Maximus is okay, fine, I'll help you. And then he's, you're never going to survive this. You're going to die when we go back. And
yeah, I'm just going to ask that they kill you. And you're like, what?
You were already on thin ice, and now you'll be done for. You're just like, you need help right now. What are you doing?
I just thought that maybe he could have been nicer to his new Squire Thaddeus.
Yeah.
He was totally mean to his squire. Or he could have been nice to him, and no one would have found out the wiser.
I know, he was such an idiot, and he was such a jerk to Thaddeus that I just started hating Maximus, because actually, I liked Thaddeus more.
Like Thaddeus more.
Thaddeus was reasonable.
Yeah, I know.
Also, I just want to point out, by the way, in the scene where the bear came out, the Yao Guai, if you notice, he was freaking out about the bear coming out, and the bear even gets on him and starts beating him up, except he's, like, not taking any damage. Because he's in power armor, and the bear can't do anything. Like, the bear is attacking him for a century, until the bear, like, I think he, like, released the latch or something, and then he could actually hurt him a bit. I don't remember quite what happened. I just remember being like, he can't hurt him in power armor. The power armor is stronger than this bear. He could probably punch the bear to death. And this guy's like screaming, running away like a baby. And you're like, that is insane. That's so funny, but also insane.
It is insane. Yeah, because the power armor wasn't even that much hurt that badly, even after that attack. So I was like, what exactly did the bear do? Let's move on to favorite characters, maybe.
Alright, I think everyone's favorite is Lucy.
It's actually a very popular opinion. I've read online reviews. Yeah, I love Lucy. She brings a whole joy to the show.
I never said my favorite character, but did I?
Actually, you did. You said the ghoul.
Explain why. He was cool.
It's actually a very popular opinion. I've read online reviews.
But the ghoul bit Lucy's finger.
See him shoot a dog to death and eat fingers. I didn't see that episode.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I think among anyone, I would be the most okay with him shooting a dog and eating fingers. I should have seen that episode, and I would have been like, oh, that sucks. Well, he's still kind of cool, though. But I don't know how my reaction would have been. By the time I could have watched it, Ruth had already watched the next episode and said, I'm never going to watch another episode again. And so I was like, oh, there goes my watching buddy.
Okay, no. Your favorite characters might have been Lucy, but my favorite character was her brother. What's her brother's name?
Her brother was Norm. It's Norm.
Yeah, I liked him. He was way better than all the other characters. In fact, when they kept cutting to Lucy instead of Norm, I was like, no, go back to Norm. I want everything about Norm. I want this whole show about Norm. I don't actually care what Lucy's doing, because Norm was like finding out and investigating stuff and doing all this cool stuff behind the scenes. And then Lucy didn't even care about him because she didn't even come back for him. And I was like, what on earth? I understand that he said he wanted to stay here because it's a scary world out there, but he was actually doing a lot of stuff while he was in there and was finding out all this weird stuff. And he was actually being super brave while being in this thing, and then she doesn't care anything about him and is waltzing around, even though she could go back home at the end of the show and go back and find out what's happening with her brother, which she should do. She instead is, I'm gonna go waltz around with this guy that we all hate. We all hate the ghoul guy. I hate the ghoul guy, so she should hate the ghoul guy. I don't understand why she would want to even go around with him. I wouldn't want to get anywhere close to him. I would say no thanks and go back home.
I think it was more just her saying, hey, I still gotta grab my dad, so I'm gonna brave the wild. I'm gonna brave this ghoul that I hate, and I'm gonna get my dad back.
So what is the ghoul having her under contract, or does she, why is she with the ghoul?
What
No,
do
it
you
was
mean?
just very random. He was like, I'm leaving. Are you coming with me or not? And she was like, oh yeah, I'll come with you. And I was like, why?
Yeah, the show just ends with, I guess they're going off together, but I wasn't really sure why.
Yeah, she kisses Maximus, and then she abandons Maximus too. I'm like, what is this?
We should clarify, by the way, I've only seen, I think, either 2 or 3 episodes, and Ruth over here has seen 2 more than that. How many did you see, Ruth?
Yeah, probably, maybe even one more actually, honestly.
Okay, yeah, because I heard the next episode, I remember hearing the next episode, they're like, the ghoul does something bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain why Ruth stopped watching this show. Because the ghoul killed the dog. That is why Ruth stopped watching the show. That's a good reason to drop the show. But, yeah. I still wanted you to finish the show so we could talk about it. So
Excuse me, he also bit off
her fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there. You're right. He did bite off her fingers, and I was completely not okay with that. And I said,
What purpose? What purpose?
I think he was looking for a snack.
See, this is why. Okay, so it was like third episode where I was like, I'm not watching this anymore unless I have VidAngel, and so I paid for VidAngel again, downloaded it, and started going because they were swearing every 5 minutes. I would mute and I would unmute, and they would be swearing again, and I go, "What is this?" So I couldn't endure just the amount of swear words that were going back and forth between Maximus and his master guy, Tyrannius or whatever, so much that I had to put on VidAngel. So I missed a lot of the violence. So I know that some of that stuff I missed, but I did see the dog die. I also saw that they were burning dogs in a furnace, and I was like, what on earth?
yeah, I feel that killing dogs in a show is a very polarizing thing to do, to be perfectly honest, and I'm not sure why this show went for it, but apparently I've heard that's also in the video game.
I don't know about like burning dogs. There are a lot of evil dogs, and you can get meat from many things, and you just whatever you have in your inventory, you're gonna use sometimes. So you're gonna cook dog meat, or you're gonna eat it. But it's mongrel meat. It's not dog, and they're irradiated dogs, so you wouldn't eat a good boy. That would be horrible.
Yeah, this show they were eating good boys, as far as I could tell. So that's
think
felt rough. It's true.
Literally just put dogs in a furnace and burn them up.
They
I
did.
literally saw that. I saw him do it.
I do remember watching that. I was horrified by that. So let's move on to favorite moment. For me, I guess I really liked, the part where she just says okie dokie a lot. She said okie dokie like 3 times, and I liked her saying those words.
I think she said it way more than that. I think those were like her favorite words to say.
It was her favorite words to say, but I did like when she said it. I had fun when she said those words.
I was slightly saddened. I understand this is how the whole story started, but I was slightly saddened when her husband turned out to be evil, because I thought
I was very saddened by that, because I was what's the point?
I thought like the rest of the people could be evil, and then she could be like fighting with her husband against the people he came with, or something like that. Something cool where like they both gang up on the people he came with, even if the rest of them were evil. He really liked her, so then it's just like them against the world kind of thing. And then it wasn't.
They did weirdly give him like an opportunity to be a good guy, and then just awkwardly. I don't quite remember it, but I remember what it felt like, which was like, for a second there, you're like, oh, he could help her, and then they stood awkwardly in that, and he's like, but I'm evil. Like, oh, okay. And so she kills him too, and you're like, all right. I do still wonder why it was that he didn't kill her in the middle of the night. He got up and walked around when everyone started being killed, and she noticed that, and then was like, "Oh, I gotta wake up and then do stuff." And then
Yeah, but I was so confused by him. I thought, "Hey, you got a cute girl out of it. Just kill everyone else and keep the girl." What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, what are you doing trying to choke her to death? A little bit confusing. Also, want to point out, this is the wedding dress that she was wearing. Very beautiful, passed down through the generations. And she slept with him in it. This is going to be someone else's wedding dress. Take it off. Please.
Yeah, she kind of screwed over the rest of the family.
That wedding dress got so ruined. Oh my goodness. I know I'm just saying the spectacle looked great, fantastic. But I do remember thinking to myself, maybe it was because we were getting married recently, but we were like, wait, this is like a communal wedding dress? Wait, get out of the dress. Violence broke out, because obviously she couldn't do it then, but they're sleeping together. And they're also a little funny, obviously awkward, but a little funny was they get back to the room, and she just starts being like, wonder and magic and beautiful. We're going to spend our lives together. Look, this is where we're going to live together forever. And it's just like, well, you guys are going to sleep together real soon. what are you doing? Walking around and doing all this stuff. It's a little confusing. And then, sure enough, that guy was thinking that because he is just actually fully butt naked, and they show this guy's butt 7 times.
They did.
At least they didn't go the way of Game of Thrones, where they were like, "That's not enough for butts." I guess I appreciate that.
Yeah, there were some weird scenes in this show. I think my favorite moment of the entire show, though, was probably when they were at the conference room with the evil guys, and they were all sitting around at a table, and she was like, so what can we do to raise and maximize profits? And then the CEOs are all like, we could just make weird, crazy ideas with the vaults. And they started listing out the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. And I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted. And then we got to only see 2 vaults, I feel like. So the beginning area is 3 vaults, and then there's 1 more vault they met later on. And that was it. And I was like, I wanted to see more weird vaults, and I think that's probably the reason I finished the show. Because I just liked seeing weird vaults, to be honest. I think the weird vaults kept me watching.
Honestly, in the video games, it's like that too. Sometimes you might lose a little bit of interest. I remember in Fallout New Vegas, there's a really cool vault. Like, the whole place is a desert. Everything is a desert, and inside of vaults, it's not much different, especially since most of them have been broken into. But you go down, like, this alley area, like this valley area, and you start seeing some plants around, like, not just cactuses, and you're like, what the heck? Plants? Like, this is a desert. You're in New Vegas. You're in Las Vegas. So you start following the plants, and you find, like, this beautiful, overgrown, like, jungle area, and you're like, in the desert? And guess what? It's all coming out of a vault.
That is...
So it's the coolest vault ever. You go in there, and guess what? The game turns into a horror game as you find out that this vault was, like, experimenting on plant DNA being put into humans. And there's, like, these Vegemite human people or whatever, and it's like they go around and attack you, and they jump out, and they're low to the ground, and they come from events, and you're like, this is the coolest thing ever. And there's a person in there who's like half plant, and you're like, what the? And they're like, you have to destroy us, and you're like, another one's like, no, save us. We're gonna save the whole, like, you know, wastelands. People that only need sunlight to live and nutrients, like, that's easy. And it was like the coolest vault ever. You're just going through it like, this is a whole nother game. What the heck? And yeah, I assume the vaults feel like that. I felt like that in the show also, just the one that we saw.
Yeah. But you guys didn't get to see the... You didn't watch till the episode where we saw the experiment vault.
That was the better vault.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, I thought that was actually exciting. I thought that added a lot to the story, and I thought that was pretty funny.
I was disappointed, though, by the fact that they were kicked out of the vault all because of Maximus. Because I thought, oh, here's another vault. She could go get her brother and move to this vault instead if that other vault goes to pot.
It wasn't because of Maximus, if you remember.
He was kicked out because of Maximus. Maximus ruined everything.
No, it really wasn't Maximus. She totally was going to kill some people, and almost did.
No, I get Maximus ruins everything. So.
But you're right. But you're right.
Maximus just come in and was like, oh, I'm going to cause a war or something.
Yeah.
I just want to put this in perspective, by the way. We dislike Maximus so much that when we were thinking between the guy that killed a dog and 8 fingers, we're like, a toss-up. I guess I'll go with Maximus. That's what our decision was. I just want to say that's how terrible Maximus is. He's a loser, nobody, scum lord.
He is pretty bad. I don't really like Maximus that much, to be honest.
He gets basically fired pathetically, and then they hire him. They're like, oh, I guess you could be a squire because the other person hurt their foot. And then he's the worst squire in the world, and he's got the worst, like, leader ever, and then he's terrible at assisting his leader, and then he kills his leader, and then he's a terrible knight himself.
Yeah, he is. And then he, for some reason, is now the hero of the Brotherhood because he faked killing off Moldova, or Deva. But he didn't actually kill Moldavia at all.
I actually
Because
hope
she
they
did.
make him villain because he's got
Or the
villain
Google.
tendencies.
Either
No,
way, Google did or she did.
I was pretty sure it was the father.
Oh, okay. Either way,
Yeah,
It
Moldava died, and Maximus didn't do it, and he took the credit. And I was like, of course Maximus is taking the credit. I should have known. Maximus always takes the credit. Let me look here and see who killed off Moldava. I cannot remember.
it's been weeks.
It looks. What? No. What?
Hey, did you go-
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why the. What?
Are you putting this into Google?
Yes. And it is coming out undecided. What? No, I have no idea who killed Moldaver. But it wasn't Maximus, and he took the credit. That snitch.
I hope in the next season he becomes a villain because he's got clearly villainous.
He's the leader of the Brotherhood now, so he is the villain.
Yeah, alright, makes sense. The Brotherhood's never really been the good guys. There's been one time. Most of the time they're just there to torch, burn, and steal. They're not gonna go out of their way to kill you, but there's absolutely a potential that you have something day one, and you'll be like, huh, what? I want to keep this, and they just shoot you.
Yeah, they credited him incorrectly with the kill, because he definitely didn't kill Moldaver at all. Yeah.
Couldn't do anything.
I guess it was some random person. Who knows? No. He just takes credit for all of them.
Does he kill anyone in the show?
He did.
Yes.
He killed his master.
Yeah, he killed his master, Titus.
That man was on the ground trying to get him to kill him. I'm not saying he actually was, but he might as well have been.
Didn't he kill a couple of people in town? Probably. He probably killed some people in town.
I remember seeing some clips where he was like, aha, I'm shooting around.
And to be perfectly honest, it was his fault that Thaddeus turned into a ghoul. I would also blame him for that.
Oh, yo.
Okay, we'll move on to characters we didn't like.
So all the rest of the characters, except for Norm.
Maximus is our number one. We discussed it between Clarius and Ruth discussed it between themselves, and we come to a very easily consensus that Maximus was the worst.
You can be evil, but it's worse to be boring.
It's kind of true. Yeah, Maximus is definitely my most hated, to be perfectly honest. He's just very easy to hate on because he comes off as very hateable. He's always a grouch, always being a loser every single chance he gets.
Yes.
Takes.
I feel like he was set up really well to be a character that grows and is actually a good person, just never had the opportunity to be a good person.
He doesn't grow.
Legitimately, he does the opposite.
Legitimately, he gets worse as the show goes on. Legitimately.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him at the beginning, and I then no longer felt sorry for him.
I just want to say, I honestly don't even dislike. I don't horribly dislike the scenes he's in. I just feel like they drag on a little bit too long for a character that we're like, wow, he's pathetic, and he's evil in that way that a middle manager could be evil. They're just making sure people don't promotions and make snide comments because they can get away with it. That's all it really is. He's just like, hey, the second I got a little bit of power, I'm gonna abuse this person below me and laugh maniacally as I'm invincible. And you're like, wow, you were given the opportunity to be a good person. You wanted to be a good person, and you decided to be a bad person. Frankly, that makes him boring in this season, but it does make him set up as something that could be interesting in the next season. I just hope they understand that, hey, when he's being pathetic, we don't really want to see it that much, so just limit it. Just let us know that Maximus is being pathetic and move on.
Yeah, I just feel like they do drag him.
I tried to give him as much screen time as the cowboy and Lucy, and he did not deserve that much screen time.
But I think here's the problem. I feel like for some reason that we were supposed to like him because he was having a romance with Lucy or something, and we were supposed to like him somehow, but none of us did.
I think he just comes off as stupid, and it's hard to a guy that stupid. It really is.
Yeah, it feels like he's bumbling around, and I hesitate to say bumbling to success, but he does get a suit, become a knight, and become the leader. So I guess he is bumbling to success.
He definitely
But
is.
there's a way you can have a character
Well,
funny, like
I would
funny.
say, actually, you know what? I would say he didn't bumble his way to success. He crushed the people beneath him and then rose.
Yeah, and lied, cheated, and stole his way up to the top.
He did. He did. He lied, cheated, and stole his way up to the top, and I hate the man he became.
Okay, but there is a way that would be funny that someone would actually bumble their way to the top. It could be hilariously funny.
Of course. This wasn't that. And I think that really plays into moments we didn't like. As speaking on Maximus, I really just didn't like the moment where he kills his previous knight. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose. The man was evil, yes, but the man goads him into killing him. And it's a really weird scene. And
It really does.
he goads him into it.
It was very weird.
Because
Very weird.
look, it's so weird. The knight is scared for himself and asking for help and begging for help. And Maximus is, oh, okay, I'll do that. I'm pathetic. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then he, like, the knight, I swear, he, like, outlines what would happen if he got him killed, and then outlines the punishment if he didn't kill him. He creates a PowerPoint presentation for Maximus, the man who does not think, about why he should kill him. And then he's, oh, I guess I should kill you. And he's like, but of course, you wouldn't even have the cojones to kill me. I don't think he said that, but it just gave off the vibes of just, geez, dude, a whole PowerPoint presentation to end your life after you begged for your life.
It was so dumb.
And he was gonna help him. He really was.
He was. I was like,
stopped
dude, just be
and, like,
quiet for 2 seconds, and this guy would have helped you.
If you don't insult and then threaten him like 4 times, look at 3 times already the golden number of amount of times you threaten someone before they might reconsider their actions. 4 times is excessive. It was excessive how much he wanted to die.
It really was. And then I guess I find the ending a little odd, but I was fine with the ending. It's not like little moments that I didn't like. It was more just the character's progression, which is an odd thing to say, but yeah. Because I feel like the little moments, I would have to say, like the dog dying and the fingers getting bitten off, those were the horrible moments to watch. And then there wasn't really much else horrible moments to watch. It was just more depressingly, this character is getting worse and worse.
Yeah. I felt like Lucy was pretty solid the whole way.
Oh, no. Lucy, even at the end where we watched, Lucy doesn't really change as a person. Even though she totally shot her mother. Wasn't really sure why, to be honest.
Just in case.
She shot that mother because she looked evil. She was like a ghoul, so I was like, yeah, shoot her. I didn't really see a purpose.
I actually didn't quite understand why she shot her mother, but other than that, she actually, Danlock, she didn't really change. She was still the happy-go-lucky person, despite the fact that horrible things were happening around her.
Yeah, she was still happy.
Horrible things happening.
Yeah, and I still liked her as a character because she had that joyful atmosphere about her.
She should have brought her brother. I'm just saying.
Yeah, probably. Then we wouldn't have had to have Maximus all the time.
Exactly.
We could have hung out with her brother and her. Yeah, that would have been way better.
It doesn't. I'm gonna use this as my least favorite moment since you took the one that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I don't like that she left her brother. Look, it made sense for her to leave her brother and also her weird cousin. But frankly, I think she should have brought both of them because this is a video game TV show. It's supposed to feel like, oh, I'm gathering a party. And they did end up gathering a party to some degree. These 3 people are coming together. Maybe one of them stays, one of them leaves. That's what they were doing. I was like, hey, I know your brother might die. Let's be real. Your brother's not really used to the real world. But he's the one that found out about the Raiders. Yeah, he only found out about the second that they started jumping them. But he was the first one to find out. You realize, like, he's a little bit of a detective. He's actually a bit good with these things. He was suspicious of them from the beginning, a little bit, and things like that. And he cared about his sister. And he's got the elements to be a good character, and their dumb cousin is a good dumb muscle. And obviously, it would have been a little bit weird for them to bring along because they're being creepy with the cousin for some reason. But like, it could have been a little bit funny. You get that cousin a girlfriend.
He had that girl.
Well, to be fair, they gave the cousin a girlfriend,
They did.
but they had to kill off the husband first.
I don't know that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Yes.
You know her
Well, wait,
friend or whatever?
Whose husband got killed off?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just marries her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. I was like, what?
But
Well-
see, Norm is the only one who's doing things back at their home, and he has to do things all alone. So it's actually scarier than her out in the big, large world. It's scarier back at home. I was fearful for him because all the things that were happening where he was trying to figure out what is actually going on. Why are we always electing the same people? Like, why are our votes always turning out to be the same sort of people?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they lock him in the vault
And
with the robot. And I was like,
Yeah.
how is he going to survive this one?
He had,
And then they never
yeah.
go back to him.
They locked him in there with the explanation that he probably was going to have to lock himself in a cryo chamber. And that was how he would survive.
Oh, interesting.
So I think he has potential for hopefully maybe he'll be the main character of season 2. I guess not, because Lucille's still there. But he'll still play a big role, I think, in the next season.
I hope so. I like Norm. Norm is cool.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and I feel like he gets a very little to do this season. And I wanted him to do more, to be honest. Because he basically gets one episode to himself, and then that's it.
That kind of in the little bit that I've watched, it felt like people only got little bits of things to do every once in a while.
Yeah, they do. But maybe that's just the fault of the show not being all that long. Because if you remember, the show is not that long, to be perfectly honest. I know the episodes are like an hour long, but still, in the grand scheme of things, the Fallout show is literally... How many episodes is it?
8.
Yeah, like 8 episodes. It's a very short show. Yeah, it's only 8 episodes, so...
Yeah, they're long episodes though.
They are long.
Yeah.
They're like an hour long. So I'd say 8
But,
hours of content. So...
I would say if we are comparing this to One Piece, which is the best TV show we've watched in recent days, then there was a lot of stuff that they did despite only having 8 episodes and being an hour long. They still...
Yeah, but
people
you're
to-
comparing the greatest story in all of fiction to Fallout. So I'm not really sure what the comparison is here.
I
This
think
doesn't...
a little bit better of a comparison.
Okay.
This felt like most TV show adaptation, video game TV adaptations, which is to say, started on shaky ground, and you know what I gotta say, ended on slightly more solid but shaky ground. Unlike something like Halo, which,
Ooh.
let's be honest, that started on shaky ground, and then it fell into pieces and tumbled through the atmosphere, and somehow was getting a second season until it was canceled.
It got
Oh, it got
canceled?
canceled?
It did get canceled. At least that's what I've
After its
heard.
second season? I haven't watched its second season, but you're
No,
saying
no.
after the second season it got canceled?
No, there's not a second season. They were producing
No.
the second
No.
Season?
It's out?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
out.
then.
Yeah.
So you're saying they canceled it after second season? Let me look
I
this
suppose-
up.
I suppose so, yeah. That's what I heard, at least, because I'd seen it come across my feed a little bit.
Maybe it was just... It has been canceled, but it was after the completion of 2 seasons, it looks like. They're not going
Yes.
to do a season 3, is what they said.
Wow,
Yeah.
maybe we should actually watch season 2 then. Because we thought that season 1 was a dumbfire. Maybe we should watch season 2.
I heard season 2 was a lot better because they stuck more to fighting than him taking his helmet off and exposing about his past.
And that's what we definitely hated.
I think by its first season, because first season got a lot of views because it was Halo, but then it was so bad that people didn't want to watch season 2. So season 2 got barely any views, so that's what really killed it. And I don't think it has anything to do with season 2 actually being terrible. Because I think season 2 is a lot better than season 1.
Our discussion is not actually about Halo.
Fallout. Yeah, Fallout. She was like, let's do it to Maximus, and then Maximus turns her down like an idiot.
Turns her
Thank
down.
goodness.
He
Maximus-
did.
Yes, yes.
He did. He turned her down, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? She's like the hottest person here. And he turns her down.
But they do kiss at the end, and then she like leaves.
Yeah, so they don't actually do anything except for kissing at the end, and then she leaves immediately. So nothing happens. We're
That
good.
means that if she's pregnant, it's not Maximus's child.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that guy from the first bunkers.
Possibly pregnant through kissing.
Well, it would be the guy from the first.
It would be her husband who she killed.
Yeah,
That's what.
it would be the husband she killed, who was hot. So that's good.
He was good looking, which means her child will look good. So
Well, her child was gonna look good anyways. She looks amazing.
that's true.
Yeah, there's no way the bad genetics of some other person was going to combat her.
Speaking of which, Norm, her brother, is from Wizardly of Waverly Place, right?
Yeah, he definitely is. He is the third brother. He's the youngest
And
brother.
he.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's not. He's just from Hannah, Montana. I thought
He's
he was
from
in
Hannah,
Waverly.
Montana.
Yeah, but I thought he was in.
They ran a sandwich shop in Wizards of Waverly Place.
He's in Wizards of Waverly Place.
For an episode, I think, probably.
I think he runs like a sandwich shop. I'm telling you.
Okay, but
No,
they're
he
having.
ran a sandwich shop in Hannah, Montana.
Oh, my bad.
That's what he did in Hannah, Montana.
At the end of Hannah, Montana, he got like a rich model girlfriend who was way taller than him.
He did do that. I do remember that.
And then he was like playing video games for a living or something.
Yeah. No. He wasn't. That was the brother.
Oh,
He
okay.
always makes some weird business plan.
Yeah.
Okay. But they are having a reunion series for Wizards of Waverly Place. I just saw the trailer that happened.
Played by. Okay, it's Moses Arias. I'm trying to see if this guy has been in literally anything else. Yeah, okay. It says he was in Hannah, Montana. It doesn't say he was in Wizards. It does, actually. I guess it does say that. But he's none of the brothers, so I don't know who he is. I don't remember him being in the show at all, to be perfectly honest. He was in 5 Feet Apart? As who?
Oh, did you watch the movie?
No.
I watched the movie in theaters.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't see
he
that.
was like the best friend at the hospital who died. Yep.
He was in Ender's Game. I do remember that. He was like the evil guy who like got killed in the bathroom.
I don't know why he isn't in a lot. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I think he is too, but maybe he's in the Fallout show.
Sure, that may actually give him the boost he needs to get in other shows. You're right.
I think that probably would, because the Fallout show is pretty big.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to ratings. I actually saw the full show. I would give it a 6 out of 10. There are parts I didn't like, and there are parts I really loved. I'm excited to see the next one. I can't exactly say that I love the show because Maximus was still in this show. But I do love the background. I love the setting. I love the world. So I'm hoping to get more episodes so I can see more about the vaults. And that's what I really want. What about you guys?
The music was good. I would give this like a 4. Because there was just so many parts that I was having trouble with and I had to actually physically go buy VidAngel again. But I did like the music and I do like some of the characters and the set was fine and some of the violence was fine. I just think it was the other characters and Maximus that I dislike, like the Ghoul and Maximus and maybe weird people that caused me not to have as much fun as I could have with this show. But I would
Yeah.
be definitely willing to watch a second season, for sure.
Yeah.
Hoping that they would do more with Norm and stuff. And maybe Ruth can just skip to second season and maybe it would be better. I have no idea.
I still think Ruth should watch specific episodes in season 2. Because I still think some of the episodes that she didn't see are actually pretty good, like The Other Vault. Because I still kind of want her to see The Other Vault, because I think it breeds excitement for the show.
Enough time, so I could. Excuse me.
I can't hear you. Ruth?
Sorry, I said I think it's actually been enough time that I probably could actually watch the next episode, and I wouldn't have.
Yeah, you
Anger
had a
fade.
pause. You had a pause between.
Yeah, sometimes I do that with K-dramas where I have a huge pause where I'm irritated with the character and I come back and I don't remember any irritation and I'm able to watch the show.
That is the only way I've been making it through this book I've been reading it, to be perfectly honest.
Fourth Wing?
No, not Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is not that annoying.
100 cupboards?
Not at all. The Wandering
No,
Inn. No, The Wandering Inn is so brutally terrible that I literally have to pause and then come back when I forget who the characters are.
Oh, I thought you liked that show. Remember you
The
said
Wandering Inn? The Wandering Inn has a part where the girl takes period blood to catch flies to feed people at her inn. And I was so grossed out. I was grossed out for weeks.
I am a girl, and I'm grossed out by that. But clearly, Calarius would not be grossed out by that.
Oh no, that'd be disgusting.
It sounds so gross. Every single time I read it, it
wait.
was so gross.
Did they avidly describe it or was it like
they
a
described
thing?
it in detail.
Oh, no.
It was
no.
very detailed. And I was...
No.
Whew, whoa boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Wandering Inn is definitely my top hard-to-read series.
It's a series? There's
Oh.
more of these?
There's 18 of these books. And they're not short either. They're very long. These are some of the longest books in existence. Because the author hasn't stopped writing since she was like 12. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, Ruth needs to rate this show.
Oh, yeah, Ruth?
See, since I haven't seen the complete thing, I can't give it, it's an incomplete, but it's been some time, so I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 10. But if you had asked me right after how much I cried 3 times and I was very upset. If you had asked me right then, I probably would have given it a 1, but it's been a while, so 3.5 it is.
Okay. This has been
Yeah,
our
you
review
watched this
of
over, months ago.
Oh, yeah, you did watch it months ago. This has been our review of Fallout, the TV show. We can go into some updates now and some other stuff if we want to. Because I wanted to talk a little bit about One Piece specifically. We just got a new update today about the One Piece show. The One Piece show just released who the directors are, who the animation director people are, and they released concept footage as well. And it looks insane. It looks great. They are getting the director from Attack on Titan seasons 1 through 3 as our director. We have some of the crew from literally Jujutsu Kaisen, from the animation department, which is insane as well, So, this show is going to look amazing. The cast, the director, staff, all sounded like they wanted to continue this show for the foreseeable future. Because they're going to have to keep going if they do well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
For, forever.
I'm just not sure why we're redoing it. The show is currently still going.
The reason we are is because the show is so old that now we can do the show justice. And I think that's what they're realizing. And that is why this is being made. And also, Netflix does want this to happen. And they're the one who asked Oda if he was okay with it. So basically, what Netflix wanted is they wanted a seasonal One Piece to be happening on their service, is what they wanted, which will bring people into Netflix, which is probably why it was made fiscally, but also for us One Piece fans, I think it's great because now I can show, maybe somebody doesn't like the old animation of One Piece. Then I can be like, hey, here's a new show of One Piece with no filler, no additives, no nothing. And the animation is going to look amazing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with the animation in the first place. I don't get it.
well,
I
think it's just an old-fashioned animation style. So I think that they want maybe a different take on it. And this one will be more streamlined of an animation. Because the previous One Piece animation, it's pacing. Because a lot of anime that was back then, it had a lot of pacing issues. Because they would only adapt a certain amount of chapters per episode, right? So this one won't have those issues since it's not condensed by the fact that it has to not catch up to the show or something like that.
Oh, you're saying the filler episodes.
No, I'm saying like the filler that is in actual episodes. Like the filler of the pacing itself. Because episodes don't have a lot of content in them. Because they're only covering so little of a chapter that they draw out the content.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited for this because I have friends who watch anime, but they don't want to start One Piece because the animation looks bad, and they're a new gen. They're a new gen of animation, so they're not going to they're not going to watch old animation style. They only watch the newest things that come out. Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, all of these good animation. And any of the older stuff, like...
And I feel like the older stuff...
So they're missing...
Well,
they're missing out on Anna Green Gables, you're saying?
No, here's the thing about Anna Green Gables, though. Anna Green Gables, though, was filmed as a one-shot. Anna Green Gables actually doesn't really have any pacing issues. Unlike One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, all have these pacing issues because they were weekly animes. And this is and now that modern anime has switched over to seasonal, it doesn't have the pacing issues that old anime used to.
I wouldn't mind a remake of the Anna Green Gables. It's been so old that I feel like they could...
Right. But I don't think that is Anna Green Gables' problem, is the pacing. I don't think they have a pacing issue.
It's that they didn't get a second season. That's their problem.
Yeah.
They didn't...
That is their problem.
And they never made Anna Amphilie. They never made any of the other ones. They only have a prequel Anne show where it's like when she was in the orphanage, and then they have Anna Green Gables. So their problem is they didn't continue the show when they had perfectly good animation going.
But that's what I'm saying. That is a seasonal show. It was all produced as one, and it wasn't produced episode by episode like One Piece was. So One Piece has a real issue of you feel like nothing was shown in the previous episode because nothing was shown in the previous episode.
Okay, so you're saying we won't get 10 episodes where we're sitting with a dog in a house.
Exactly. We won't get that at all. It will be quicker, faster paced like modern anime is, and it will be easier to watch, frankly.
Okay, and it won't be like 100 episodes, so people coming into it will go, hey, I can start watching it.
Exactly, and then people will want to keep up with it, and that's why I think Netflix really wants it to happen, because it's a new revenue stream for them, personally, where they can release a season of One Piece, and then people will go, here we go, here's a new seasonal anime, and it's releasing only on Netflix. It's not going on Crunchyroll. It's not going on Viz or anything else, Funimation, or whatever.
Man, remember when Funimation was free?
Remember when Funimation exists? It just got grafted over into Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I know.
It's gone.
I really liked it when Funimation was free, and I used to watch their animation on, I guess it was like YouTube, and it was such a good time.
And then they were like, it's on Funimation. You should be watching. And I said, oh, right. And they said, now it's $20 a month. And I said, I'm in high school. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
Who do they think is watching this show?
Maybe you should have thought about that before you were a high schooler.
Okay, we are getting a lot of booked movie adaptations coming up. It's true.
It ends with us.
Yeah, It Ends With Us is out. I think it's out right now. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
out.
it's out. Ryan Reynolds was promoting it because his wife is in it.
Okay. That does make a lot of sense. Yeah, It Ends With Us. It has come out. That one's Colleen Hoover, right? I'm pretty sure that is Colleen
Yep.
Hoover.
She's that terrible book author that everyone comments on how her books are so bad.
I kind of still want to see it because, let's be honest.
I am, of course, going to see it. There's going to be like 10 YouTubers I follow that are going to have to review the thing.
I know. So
When
many.
is it coming out?
It's out right now.
It's
Oh, it's
out
out right now?
in theaters.
It's out in theaters.
Yeah.
It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
It's based off of a book by Colleen Hoover. She is the one who wrote. What's some of her other books? Maybe.
I don't know, but she's definitely a fan of incest and revenge stories.
Oh yeah,
and-
all of them.
Oh, this is the Blake Lively movie.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I've seen the posters everywhere, but it just has Blake Lively's face all over it, so I don't know when.
They're not going to get more descriptive than that. Oh yeah, she did Slammed. I've heard of that one. Confess. Yep. Never. Yep,
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of book talk and BookTube talks about her and how
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
her books are.
She is famous in the book talk world as being their main source of income.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
And we have Harold and the Purple Crayon coming out, but who cares about that? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna see that.
I'm not gonna see that. I couldn't care
Look,
less.
should I see If or not? Because I bought the movie. I just haven't watched it yet.
That is a question for Ruth. Didn't you see that?
What movie?
If.
Oh yeah, I saw If.
Any good?
Oh, so here's the thing. It's just about a girl who comes to terms that people. So her mom died of cancer, and her dad's in the hospital for heart surgery now, and she's really depressed.
You don't have to tell the plot of the movie. I just wanted to know, is it
I
good
just
or
wanted to know
not?
if it was good or
This
not.
is not spoiler talking about If time now.
I just wanted to know, should I watch it? I already bought it. I already spent like $9 on it. Should I watch it?
Oh, since you bought it, why not?
That's not an endorsement.
I would have not been excited to go watch if I had to actually pay for my tickets. But my tickets were free.
Okay, but I was like, Ryan Reynolds, I'm not going to go see it because I've been watching, the only movies I watch in Waynesville are, happen to be like, oh, are you guys seeing Am I a Racist? That comes out in November or something?
No. What is that?
Actually,
I have never heard of that.
Actually, I was going to let you guys know that I actually stopped my AMC subscription, so I cannot no longer go to movies.
I
4
just
times.
started mine.
Oh, did you like it?
No, I started it today. So
Oh, did
I
you?
haven't used it yet.
Wait, no, guys,
Go
go see it.
tomorrow.
I'm a Racist. It's Matt Walsh's movie, but it's going to come into theaters. It's like his,
Oh.
what is it,
Oh,
movie?
that's
Oh,
But-
never mind. I did see the trailer for that. He like goes
Yeah, he
undercover.
He goes undercover as a...
That
Okay.
looks fun.
Yeah, that looks like
What is
for
the woman?
Borat. It's payback
Yeah.
for Borat for Republicans. Also, the Umbrella
Yes,
Academy's season 4 came out. My coworker
What?
did talk
It
to
did?
me.
Today? Today?
Yeah, it's my coworker
wanna see
talked
it.
to me about season
No.
4.
No spoilers.
This
I'm
isn't
gonna
a
watch it.
spoiler.
I haven't even watched season 3.
He didn't tell me any spoilers. All he said was that he was gonna finish season 4.
Okay, I'm fine with watching that.
Hey,
Although,
the Stranger Things coming out soon. When is that coming out?
no, I
I've
heard
been
it was
waiting
delayed
for
till
forever.
next year.
No, it's delayed
What?
till next
Again?
year. Yeah, we don't get it yet.
What are they doing?
That's what I heard. Delayed till next year.
Yeah, we won't be getting that for a bit. So sad, I know. I am excited
They
for it
open
ends
on
with
a
us. to be
cliffhanger.
honest.
What are they doing?
Who knows? But they gotta make Stranger Things good. I am all for waiting.
Okay, but they already filmed all of it, right? It's just like animation stuff, right?
Oh, and maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
just
that's
me
nice stuff.
who's been hating on it, but My Lady Jane, it came out.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to see it. I actually was thinking
Uh,
that. 'Cause
It's bad. It's not
oh,
good.
is it Bridgerton bad?
Oh, no, Bridgerton's good compared to this. Bridgerton's
Oh,
amazing compared to this.
They advertised this as like a new Bridgerton on Amazon.
Yeah, this wishes it was Bridgerton. Okay? This wishes it was.
I was going to watch it just for the costumes.
Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. I don't even know if I can get through it. Jane is very annoying, and she's the main character, so I was struggling in that first episode. I was struggling so hard. So I'm not sure I can get through it, but if I can, I will. I really will. I'm sorry. The best Christmas pageant ever is getting adapted again.
What?
Yep, it looks like it. I'm looking at it right here.
When?
This year. Christmas.
Really?
Obviously. Judy Greer. That sounds like a famous star. Who's that? Anybody know?
She does actually sound famous. Who is she?
Oh, I do recognize her.
I just hope that it.
She's from 13 Going on 30, but the friend of the main girl who like betrays her.
Oh.
Yeah,
wait,
that
is
girl.
she the mother in this? Is she
looks
the
like
mother?
she is the mother. Yeah, I think she's the mother of the family.
Do we know any of the rest of this cast?
No, they're all kids, so no. Definitely not.
They didn't choose any people. Okay.
Yeah, they don't. No, they have Lauren Graham, which is another older lady from. It's the lady from Gilmore Girls, the mother. I guess she'll be playing another mother. It's probably the other mother. I'm trying to remember here. It has the same plot, so it looks like probably
Sure.
Who knows if it'll be anywhere near as good?
Okay. Dallas is making this.
Yes. Dallas Jenkins.
Chosen.
Oh, yes, Chosen guy. Okay, yeah, so who knows if it'll be good, but it is the best Christmas pageant ever, so I am excited.
Yeah,
There is that Maxton Hall series. I know you guys haven't
is it
seen it yet.
good? I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen the first about 4 episodes. I think it's fun, but it's also really terrible. My fault, bad.
Oh, like she's sleeping with her stepbrother?
No. But it's like that kind of fun, bad, of my fault. There was like a fun part of my fault.
And he drives at night with people and races?
No, like the trashy romance part.
Oh. So the butterfly one.
Sure. Yeah, like Tearsmith.
Yeah.
That sucked. They were also step siblings in that. There was that.
They're not stepsisters?
So this one is not step siblings, but it's based off of some book series. It's called Maxton Hall. It's about a girl who sees a guy's sister who's super rich kissing a professor. And then the brother tries to shut her up with money, but she's no, because she has standards or morals.
But she doesn't because she's going to fall for him.
Oh, they're definitely falling for each other. That's literally the plot of this. She doesn't have any of those morals,
Fangled morals.
Newfangled morals. She has morals until the plot calls for her not having morals.
Yeah, that seems normal.
She has very distinct morals until the plot inevitably calls for her not to have those.
Hey, Danlock.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk about some of the Cinderella.
Oh, yeah, next week we're going to separate the live action and the animated ones. Actually, we might want to just review them in sections.
Pickles suggested was that we have to do a YouTube video and then we rank them.
Tier list them?
Yeah.
Okay. We could tier list them, but if we're tier listing them, we'll have to do it after we've watched all of them then.
Yeah, so that would be maybe eventual. We can do short little videos before, short little podcast episodes before, but she thought we needed a full video tier listing.
Okay, let's try for doing the live action Cinderella because we've never done that before, and that was a first watch for literally all of us.
2015
Right.
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
We watch the animated and then review both of them on that one. Like, just.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say it's really fun to review these and then compare them to the original. Because we did that and we're going wild, hog wild. Oh my goodness. They made some changes to this, like, the core story that you're like, wait, but doesn't this make really bad implications? It was pretty great. Yeah, it would be awesome to talk about this again.
Okay, we've got Wicked coming up, which I really want to see.
Oh, no, I'm super pumped about that. I loved Wicked. I watched it on Broadway.
Yeah, I'm hyped to go see it because it's got Ariana Grande, and yeah, I'm gonna go see it. Who cares?
I just think they should do a warning label for those videos when they come out with Wicked and stuff. Let's be honest, they're a little bit slander to the original IP. They are a little bit. They should say, instead of just being slander, they should say in an alternate world. I don't know, just something like that.
They should say an alternate world, honestly, because then I would probably feel better about the ending.
Yeah.
What?
Because I want her to be evil, and I want her to not die at the end. Because I like the Wicked Witch in Wicked. So I have a hard time separating the two.
Do you know what happens at the end? Do you know what happens at the end?
I don't.
No,
Don't
I don't.
spoil it.
Don't spoil it. I've never seen Wicked. But from the trailer, she is my favorite character. And I want her to live.
Okay, alright. I will not spoil it. I have heard that you shouldn't read the book, though, because it's immoral. The book is super immoral. So I didn't read it.
Okay, and then we've got that Dune Prophecy series coming out. I don't know when that comes out.
Wait, what? Dune's getting a TV show?
Yeah, they've got a TV show coming out. We're getting Spiderwick Chronicles again. Maybe they'll succeed.
And this has been the Uncultured Podcast. Swine's out.
Goodbye.